Hey now, what's up guys? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here to, of course, do what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, week or so. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is a 2009 film that is once again directed by David Yates, and it's obviously based on the novel with the same name written by J.K. Rowling. And the plot of this particular film is after the events of the last movie where Harry Potter and Dumbledore just barely seemingly defeated Lord Voldemort. Well, they have a new threat in the school now as Harry Potter finds this book, and this book is made for the Half-Blood Prince. So who is this person? And who exactly can you trust? There's a lot of can you trust certain people in the school and whether or not they're a part of this dark side. Now, what I thought of this sixth Harry Potter movie was, I liked this movie. I did. And I think it's fairly obvious that even with me liking virtually every single one of these Harry Potter movies, I can't deny it. I'm a fan. I've liked all of these movies, but I've also come to appreciate not only how much more dark these movies were getting, or how much more rich the stories were getting, but I know this is also directed by David Yates, who did the fifth movie as well, but as each and every different director does come in for these movies, you could tell that they put their own stamp on their entry. You could tell that they have their own style, that as much as they want to stay true to the whole mythology, to the look of the whole thing, it does get slightly different, does shake things up a little bit when you add a different director, so I can appreciate that. I want to talk about Harry Potter, who this whole movie he seems to be very much trying to find out more about Voldemort, trying to find out more about his past, his history at the school, what type of person was he. And I like that. I like that he not only wants to know the person who's responsible for all of these terrible things in his life, namely killing his parents, but he also wants to know what's the connection with them. How does this guy tick? How did he become who he became? And the flashbacks that they have with him, I think, was very well paced and told in a way where I didn't feel like they were peeling back too much of the mystery of this character. They still presented enough to where you saw him as a kid, but he still seems evil. You know, it was almost like right from the start, he was doomed for this fate. Let's talk about, speaking of villains, Helena Bonham Carter. I want to mention her because I talked about how much I liked her in the last movie because she plays sick and twisted so well, and she does so once again here. My only complaint is that you don't get enough of her. I wish you did get more of her. Now, by the end of the movie, she's still around, so that's a plus. Hopefully, we do get more of her. But when she shows up on screen and she gets such a kick, such a high off of messing with certain characters, seemingly the scene where her and her group burned down Ron Weasley's house. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Dumbledore is a badass. I'm just going to say it right now. I said before that at the very beginning of this franchise, he was just kind of there. I didn't think a whole lot of him. But later on, they used him a lot more. He had a better connection with Harry Potter. Like in this movie, you see him and Harry working together, trying to truly figure out what's Voldemort's worst secret, or worse, the thing that they can use against him. I like that. I like seeing them trust each other. I like seeing just them, especially towards the end of the film, really work together as a team. Draco Malfoy. It's clear that, sure, he might have started off as a bully. He might have started off as a kid that it was funny whenever they got payback on him, but now he's at a point where he's practically a full-blown villain, and he's even more hateable than before, if that's possible, because he's dangerous, because you can't trust him, because he's going around scheming, doing things behind people's backs. He's creepy, he's suspicious, There's no reason why any teacher at the school shouldn't suspect him whenever something bad happens at the school. Speaking of that, Alan Rickman as Professor Snape. Professor Snape, yes, not Snap, it's Snape. I got it. But, here's a character who they did a good job trying to convince you that he wasn't the bad guy, wasn't evil. Until this movie, where you just go like, fuck, I wanted to like this guy, I wanted to think that there was a lot more to him, but no, at least seemingly here, he is with the dark side. Ron Weasley, let's talk about some of our main group of characters. Ron Weasley, I like him in this movie mostly because he finally becomes one of the popular kids, kind of. I mean, he doesn't become like a douchebag or anything. However, he's somehow blind to the fact that Hermione is clearly in love with him, and he just either doesn't see it or he's too caught up with this girl, Lavender, who I admit, she's a pretty girl. She is. And she's a lot more straightforward and in your face about how she feels. So I get it. But once they start dating and she's like all over him, and I mean in a very annoying way, the scene where she's writing on the glass, the heart with their initials on it, I mean, my God. Yes. And the one scene where Ron is in the hospital and she shows up and she's like, oh my God, is he asking about me? Well, like, she was very amusing and entertaining. I like how they constantly reminded you that Harry Potter doesn't think of Hermione, in that way. Again, I like that. He has a best friend that's a girl that he doesn't like in that way. Refreshing. But as far as who he does like, Jeannie. Jeannie is Ron's sister, and he likes her. And she likes him. Like, they dealt with this in the movie. I just said in my last review how much I would have liked for them to get together. And now there wasn't a whole lot of build-up at that point when I thought that. And I swear I didn't look it up. But they really went into it with this movie. And I love that. I did. Last but not least, I'm not going to get too much into details about this, but the very end of this movie is very sad. Something big happens that I'm not saying I was completely shocked. I kind of predicted it, but still it didn't change how big it was. And what more can I say? I enjoyed this film. A lot is going on. We got 2 movies left, technically 1 story in 2 movies. I'm almost done, guys. Like, this is it. We're down to the nitty-gritty. Wow. This is going by very fast. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.